Programming advice I wish I had sooner. Part 1. Do not, and I mean do not, learn more than one language when you first get started. And if chosen language is JavaScript for your first language, do yourself a favor and don't dive into the black hole of all of the different frameworks and the different runtimes that is involved with JavaScript, because you're going to get very confused and you're going to get very frustrated trying to learn all of the different ways that these different frameworks and runtimes are used and how they run. Which is typically why I really don't recommend people to dive heavily into JavaScript as their first language. Usually I'd like people to start with more of like a lower level language, and if not a lower level language, at least Python, because JavaScript is such a unique, a unique landscape, if you will, of a language compared to the other ones. Just because of all the different tech and things that are written for it and how it's used, both being on the front end and the back end, of web applications, right? But when you use more of a simple language that they typically will teach in schools, like either Java or C++, it's a very dynamic language, but it's one language, right? Like one language that you're going to be learning, and it makes things very easy, right? When it comes to learning, because all you need to do is just focus on that one language, right? So then you can learn more in depth about how it works and the advantages and disadvantages of it, right? Where compared to if you guys spread yourself out thin when you're trying to do like C++, and then you got like in school, and then you got like Python over here, and then you got JavaScript over here, you're spreading yourself thin, and then you have to spend your time, divvied up trying to learn all these different languages. And then you have to learn about like JavaScript runtimes and what is a runtime? What does that mean? And how is it running in the browser? And oh yeah, I'm on C++, and now I'm trying to learn about how, like the compiler and how these things work. Just do yourself a favor, please, and stick to one language, preferably not JavaScript first. You can get into that later. Stick to one language and get good at that language, right? I have only really learned, I would say, like 2 languages, maybe 3, and I'm not good like at any of them, right? I don't consider myself good, but that's because it takes a long time for you to get very familiar with and get really good at using the languages that you have at your disposal. If you guys want me to do more series of this, let me know, and please let me know which topics you would like for me to talk about.